My name is Amy Putnam, and I'm going to demonstrate how a tool that I created in Excel to analyze stock portfolios works. I created the original version of this for a client who is allowing me to share this example with you, and the version that I will demonstrate includes some additional features like a custom ribbon tab. The first time that you open this file, you'll need to enable the content by clicking here. Now you're ready to start using it. I've created a custom tab called Stock Tools that is automatically selected when the workbook opens. That is a feature that I built in just to make it easy to get started. This tool is designed to import weekly stock files for the S&P 500 and the Toronto Stock Exchange, TSX. These files have similar data except one piece which is demonstrated here, the percent weekly change in price for each stock. Since it is not included in the TSX file, that is something that will be calculated by this tool. To start with, we have 2 weeks of data in this workbook, May 29th and June 5th. The master sheet contains all of the fields for the last import, which is June 5th in this case. There's also a hidden sheet called Changes, which is used to record the percent weekly change for each stock. I've hidden this sheet because the user doesn't need to interface with it, and fewer sheets displayed makes it easier for the user. I'll go ahead and hide the sheet again. Now let's get started by importing next week's S&P and TSX files by clicking on the Import Stock Files button, which is a custom button, on the Stock Tools tab. This button runs a macro that I created, and it's designed so that this ribbon is part of the workbook and you'll not see it when you're working on other Excel files. I've also added a little tip about this import, and just to give you more information on the import itself, if you hover over that button. So I'll go ahead and click the Import Stocks files, and it'll prompt me to choose this week's S&P file to open. I'll go ahead and navigate for this. It can be located anywhere you'd like. So here's the S&P file that I'm looking for, and I'll go ahead and open that by just clicking Open. It's processing that data. And next it'll ask me to select the TSX file to open. And this time I'll just double click on it to open it. It's opening that file, it's processing it, it's looking at last week's TSX file so that it could calculate the percent change for TSX. And now it's completed, and when it does that, it gives you a message down at the bottom that the import's complete. It also automatically selects the analysis sheet, and by default it selects the very first portfolio that you have saved, and that's so that you could see at a glance all of the data, and you could see that the data you imported is there. The analysis sheet contains 6 charts that are automatically updated depending on what is selected. You have the option to choose a single stock, like American Airlines, and you'll see all of the charts updated for the stock selected. Next, we can see what happens when we choose a portfolio that we've previously saved. This name here is a name that the user selects when they're creating the portfolio. They just type it in, and when you select a portfolio, all of the charts are updated. The difference between the portfolio charts and the stock charts is that the portfolios are also going to have a weighted average for the portfolio on the percent weekly change and percent 52 week high. Additionally, the portfolios will have a beta calculation and the dividend yield. I've also created a button here to create a portfolio. So if we click on this, we can see the form that asks us to select one or more stocks to add to our portfolio. We'll select 3 stocks, AT&T. Oh, we've selected this in a different portfolio, so let's have some differences here. And we can scroll on down the list, and we'll pick First Solar and Netflix. So we have 3 stocks here that we've added. Now when we add the stocks to the portfolio, the next form that shows up shows the 3 stocks that we picked, along with the ticker for those stocks, and automatically fills in an even distribution of percent for those stocks. Now notice that there are 3 labels, and 3 boxes. This is dynamically created because we chose 3 stocks. Had we chosen, let's just cancel out of here. And if I'll show you that if we choose here we've chosen 4 stocks. Now we have 4 boxes, and I'm sorry, 4 boxes here and 4 labels. So that's how this is being dynamically created. And again, you'll see now we have a different even distribution. I wanted to show you another issue here, which is that when you have 3 stocks in a portfolio and you're looking for the even distribution, one of the numbers is going to have to be larger. So we've accomplished this by, you can see that it's all 3s for the first 2 stocks, but the very last stock in situations like this, the least significant digit here will be increased by 1, so that it's not going to have an effect overall on this, but you can see that it's automatically filled in for you. So we can go ahead and type in a portfolio name, and we'll just say that demonstration. And now, what if we had decided we wanted to change the amount, and let's say that we thought we didn't have a third of this, our stocks in the portfolio being for AT&T, perhaps we really had 40% here. Well, now when I go to create the portfolio, because these are not adding up to 100%, it's going to give me an error message that in this case it's greater. And if I had entered a smaller number, it would show me that it's less in this case. But let's go ahead and just do do 60, 10, and 30. And now since that was 100%, it's able to create that portfolio for us. And by default, it once again selects the analysis sheet and selects the portfolio that we just created here and displays that information. If we've made a mistake on creating our portfolio, we can always update it by clicking on the Update Portfolio button. We can go ahead and select it. In this case, let's go ahead and select the one we just created. And let's say that we really had 20% for AT&T and 50% for Metec. And we're going to give it a new name. Now we'll see that the new portfolio is available and was selected by default with the new name, and it'll reflect the numbers that we just put in. Finally, you may end up with more portfolios in here than you'd like, and in that case you can, if you have portfolios that you're no longer going to look at the analysis and you don't want it cluttering up this box, you can go ahead and delete that. So let's delete the portfolio that we created here, and there we go, and now you will no longer see that in the options there. Finally, the last thing that the automation does is that before you save the workbook, it'll end up clearing out this message here so that the next time you open this up, the status bar will be blank and you'll be able to see accurately when you've imported the next set of data. So let's go ahead and show that. We'll save it, we'll close it, We'll open it back up. And because we saved it, we can see that this is all clear. It popped us back into the Stock Tools tab on the analysis sheet, and we're ready to go again. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it inspires you for what can be done with your data.